Hello, everybody. Welcome to Queen's. Welcome to the School of History, Anthropology, Philosophy, and Politics, and welcome to the Master's Program on Global Security and Borders. My name is Debbie Lisle. I'm a professor of international relations in the school, and I am the convener of this program. So this is just a really brief outline of what we're going to be doing over the course, and give you a little bit of the structure, give you some information on some of the modules, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the internship, which is what makes this program, I think, unique in our MA provision. So just to get started straight into what we're going to be doing, the MA in Global Security and Borders is the only one of its kind in the UK. So our job in this MA the focus of it is to explore and understand the interaction between sovereignty, which is going to be central to what we're going to be talking about, borders, and the global security practices that hold those in place. So what makes this different, I think, than a lot of other approaches to security master's programs is that we take an unapologetically critical view of these topics, and we do that through two different approaches, through critical security studies on one hand and critical border studies on the other. And we put these two in conversation with one another, and we see how the world of borders and security looks when we look at it from this critical perspective. So we're going to be using the latest kind of theoretical developments, of which there's been many in the last 10 years. And we're also going to be discussing detailed empirical examples from all over the world, just to say some of those that have been really important in the last since this program has started, a lot on the EU borders and obviously those Mexico and the US, and also some work on migration in terms of the Australian case. Those are just some that have come up, but of course there's many more that have emerged in the last little while. So I'm very keen to get students to bring their knowledge about detailed empirical examples, and for all of us to learn a little bit more about those examples so we can provide evidence for the approach that we're taking. So in semester one, each semester is made up of, well, roughly 3 components, and 4 when you count the dissertation. So every student on the MA programs in this school takes what we call approaches to research design, which provides a kind of approach to knowledge in the social sciences. There's a whole bunch of things you'll be doing in that, including research methods, but also core ideas about the philosophy of social science. So everybody has to do that, including you guys, so you'll be doing that. You'll then be doing your other core module, which is a lot of that will be with me, but some will be with other people, which is called Global Security and Borders. Our plan for this year is to teach that face-to-face, and we're going to see how that goes, but we have provision to go online if we need to go online, if anybody needs to quarantine or shield or anything like that. So there's a reasonably small group of us this year, so I'm sure that we can manage that together. And then your third module in the first semester, you have an elective, so you can choose between one of these 3 modules: the politics of Northern Ireland, contemporary security, and global ethics. I would say my experience with students is most of them take the 7051 contemporary security, but not necessarily. And it depends really what you're interested in, what you want to think about, especially in regards to the other component which goes through your whole course, which is the dissertation. Now, it may seem crazy to start thinking about it this early, but it actually isn't. So if you can start to narrow down some of the areas that you're particularly interested in, that's going to really help you in the long run. So I would want to be encouraging you to start thinking clearly about the focus of what your MA dissertation might look like. Now, it doesn't have to be the detail, but just the general focus will really help. So that's semester 1 of the program. And then semester 2 is what we have what's called a double weighted module. So it basically counts for 2 modules, and this is the core provision in this program. And this is your borders internship, and this is what makes this program, I think, distinct from the other programs. And this is where you will be basically operating as an independent researcher at a host institution for 10 weeks, which is the second semester, and you'll be working there 3 days a week. Depending on what happens with COVID-19 and with restrictions, we're working with the host institutions to manage that and to see where you're going to be and how we're going to work that. But basically, what you will be doing is undertaking a project for that host institution, and what you'll be producing is a very significant piece of work, which we've called a briefing paper, which will inform their policy going forward and will help you contribute to how they are doing their work. Okay, so we will be going through allocating those internships towards the end of September, and we'll have those finalized hopefully by the middle of October so we can start doing some preparation work. Okay, I'll talk a little bit more about the host institutions in a minute, but I just want to give you the outline of what your semester 2 is really going to look like. The big focus is that internship. You also have one elective that you can take from the suite of MA courses modules that are available. So you can see there global terrorism, conflict intervention, gender and politics, philosophy of conflict and war. Again, this really depends on what you want to focus on in terms of your dissertation, and that will guide you in terms of making that choice. Okay, and as I said before, in your second semester, you're really starting to narrow down that topic of your MA dissertation. You're going to be having to choose your supervisor for that dissertation, and that will depend on the topic because there's people have different specialties, but the sooner you get that sorted out, the better, because then you can start to plan for the summer. Okay, and that's when a lot of people will be conducting the main writing and analysis of their dissertation. So that's the kind of semester 1 and semester 2, and then the summer is when you're going to be finalizing that dissertation. Just want to say a little bit about some of the host institutions that we work with in terms of internships. This isn't all of them, and we're currently in negotiation with them. So this is like as live as I can get it. We have been working with the Police Service of Northern Ireland since the start of this program, and we have an internship in their Modern Slavery and Sexual Trafficking unit, which is obviously centrally about borders and about security. And we're currently working with their cybersecurity team to get an internship up and running with them. We also work with the Irish Department of Foreign Affairs, and their projects change every year, but of course that's the department. They have offices here in Belfast, and depending on what project they want taken forward, obviously that has implications in terms of border traffic, etc. We work with the Good Relations Office, the executive office up at Stormont, and that tends to be a more localized project in regards to post-conflict Northern Ireland. We work with the Health and Social Care Board around unaccompanied minors. This is to do with migration and asylum seekers. Confederation of British Industry, we worked with them, usually on topics to do with Brexit, but also with wider questions obviously coming from COVID-19. But this is obviously really clear around what Brexit's going to look like. Similarly to Cooperation Ireland, although Cooperation Ireland tends to be more Brexit focused. But again, these projects are currently in development, and we'll have more detail for you usually around the middle of September, where the projects are finalized, and then we'll go through an allocation process. But that's just to give you a flavor of the kind of bodies that we work with, and there may be more, but we won't know for another few weeks. So that's the basic structure and the basic idea of what the program is. I will be in touch with each of you in the coming weeks to kind of get us settled in and to tell you where we're going to be meeting and how we're going to be doing that. But this was just to introduce myself and to let you know about the program, what it looks like, and what the shape of it is. So I will see you all soon.